Why should you do something meaningless? When people have ideas, they don't start with the meaningless. They start with what makes sense. And today, I will show you how to turn something meaningless into something meaningful. And to show you that, I need you guys to join me for a little hike. Has anybody here been hiking before? Raise your hands. Good. Then you already know some of the things I'm going to say about hiking today. Like, what is the most important thing to bring with you when hiking? It's food. And when you finally reach the top of the mountain, some of you use this. Boiling water takes forever. And if you guys are like me and don't have patience at all, I highly recommend to bring a stove. My friend cooking here is Timur. He's from Afghanistan, and we always hike together. When the food is finished cooking, how do you serve the meal? There's only one way. Remember, when you let someone from the Middle East spice the meal, it doesn't take a long time before you have to go to the toilet. And when you're finished doing your thing on the toilet, the next step is to just relax, just take a moment and enjoy the view. Or if you think that's really boring, then you bring your TV and PlayStation. And you might say, that's not very social. And I know, that's why we sometimes bring the poker table instead, so we all can play together. And we usually play for a while, and we forget about the time, and it gets dark, and you don't want to go down a steep mountain when it's dark outside. That can be dangerous. So instead, you spend the night. So you spend the night, and you wake up the next day, and some of you think it's time to get down from the mountain. And you think you can just walk down. That's a big mistake. You need to be warmed up first, so you avoid injuries. What is the best exercise to do on a mountain, you may ask? Well, first, you should start off with some spinning. And if it's a really steep mountain where you need to climb and use your hands, then you should do something with your upper body as well. If you think this is a bit overkill to bring the rack, the weights, and the spinning cycle to the mountain, an easier solution for you would be to set up a basketball court. After playing basketball with your mates, you remember you have some important work that needs to be done today. Since we have the opportunity for a home office, we don't have to rush down from the mountain. We can just do the work on top of the mountain. Now, this is probably the most meaningless and extreme hiking tour you have ever seen. And I know that some of you wonder, how did they get all the things up there? Everything you just saw has been carried up by people, which makes it even more stupid and meaningless. And the hardest part with this project has been to get people to actually join these hikes. And convince them to think that bringing a toilet to the top of a mountain is a good idea. And to do that, you must know what those people need. And that's when I found out. There's always someone that's looking for a new profile picture on Tinder. Yes, this is my friend Luca, and he was really sold on the idea that sitting in a couch, in his robe, 1,000 meters above sea level, would boost his amount of matches. And since this is a TED Talk, I thought I needed to include some graphs, to make it look scientific and smart. So let's take a look at the growth in matches for Luca. Now, we can clearly see that after posting this sofa picture, he's had some extreme growth. Yeah. Good for him. This entire journey started with something as simple as an idea, with no greater purpose or goal. We simply wanted to do something funny that we could post on Instagram. That's when we first brought the restaurant table to the mountain. And people would probably be finished after that first concept. Because the effort it took and the result you got, it doesn't add up. It seemed meaningless. But I'm so glad we didn't stop after the first one. Instead, we were looking for something heavier, something that's even more creative, and of course, something that didn't make sense at all. Thank you. The advantage you get by starting with the meaningless is that you really stand out from the crowd. When people see it, they get curious. They start asking questions like, why are you doing this? And should we call a doctor because this is so stupid? Or do you want to have your own TED Talk? When they first asked me if I wanted to speak at this event, of course I said yes, but I didn't really know what my message was going to be, because there's so many positive things I can say about this project. I built my own identity, my creative skills has developed a lot, all the people I met, and I found my passion for filmmaking. So what can I give you guys that you can't get from anyone else? Money, advice on life, and all the materialistic things is something you can get from other people. And the only thing I have that you can't get from anyone else is the story itself. And that's the powerful thing with the story. It's only yours, and you get to tell that story. We all have crazy ideas. And I have the unique story of actually executing one of my crazy ideas. And maybe this story will inspire some of you guys to execute your own crazy and meaningless idea. Because sometimes you can bring meaning to the meaningless. This is Johannes. He was born in Colombia 30 years ago and has always been dependent on his wheelchair. Going to a mountain has been a dream he gave up a long time ago. But we got in touch with each other and we made it happen. And that is going from meaningless to meaningful. Thank you. Thank you.